The 30th day of May 2020, hurricane season will be upon us in 2 short days. But after seeing what's going on in America, the United States is no more united because of one corrupt cop. I got a list of corrupt cops that went through my years in Abaco and tried to make me like them. Can you imagine a policeman trying to incriminate you? Before they were policemen, I was preventing crime while they were permitting crime. And you see, somebody saw that they were criminals, so they thought they would change their life, and they invited them to join the police force to straighten their life out. But you started off as a crook. And they went to the police academy for 6 months, and nothing changed. It's like one police told the other one fella, say, why don't you join the police force? He was a security guy. I said, no, you don't want to be no police. He said, what's the difference between a policeman and a security guard? It's the only thing that the police has more authority and a gun than a security guard. So it's the same thing, just different color. So these guys were invited to join the police force. They picked them from the worst of the worst. And even through their ranks, if you started being corrupt, you ain't gonna change. You know, everybody in Abaco is like, wow, Simon Beneby left the police force. Mo Johnson left the police force. And what they doing now? Like, wow. Well, we have them right on there. One of the top crookedest cop was Superintendent Ewan. I seen him in courts, lying under oath, couldn't clarify himself, trying to jail Kai. The last thing he did in Abaco was trying to jail Kai. Superintendent Ewing, him and Remy Menace. Well, Ashton Grain Slade, you have 2 crooks on the force. I could put my head on the chopping block in any court. And every court in the Bahamas would say, Kai, you're not defaming these guys' character. Kai Mills, thank you for your boldness. Kai, thank you for being fearless to try to make this Bahamas a better place for all our good people, kids to live. That's all Kai doing. Calling out the wrong. Superintendent Ewan assaulted me. He could remember that. Didn't want me to take a picture of Perry at the opening of the clinic. Grabbed me, discambered me. Him and the other fat police used to be on the motorcycle there. I don't remember his name. After Perry went by, give me my camera back. There's a lawsuit in Supreme Court for him right now. Just waiting on my day. Y'all gonna retire Owen Kai Mills. I can't say enough about Simon and Mo Johnson. They just totally garbage juice. You have Kevin Monkey Ellis. Everybody in Abaco say, God, it ain't right. How could Paul Roldos promote Kevin Ellis? Everything wrong that could be wrong in Abaco, Kevin Ellis was involved in it. Only one difference is that he had a police badge and a gun. He had the rights to be a criminal in uniform. And the first thing that happened after he stole everything he could steal after Hurricane Dorian, the first thing the Royal Bahamas Police Force did is promoted Kevin Ellis from corporal to sergeant. What it is disgrace. This is what you call a disgraceful police force. I am not at all proud of my police force. There's some good policemen there, but if you have one bad apple in the barrel, what happens? They promote him. Murphy stole $2,000 of my boss. Anthony Ferguson sent him to marijuana. This guy in the broad daylight. Only they did that because they had a no good boss in Kevin Mortimer. Mortimer telling me that they already look at Commonwealth buying camera and saw that Murphy didn't steal the 2000. He's back on while he's in my bus. So Commonwealth buying camera is the only camera in the world that could go around corners and take pictures of what's going on inside my bus when Murphy is back on. And Kevin didn't know I smarter than him. You can't go in Commonwealth Bank camera unless there was a court order. The case was not before the court yet, so the court couldn't order. So Murphy, you're just a lying, crooked policeman and you steal grocery after hurricane. That's the chief of police. Then you have Deanso Cass. Everything wrong in Abaco Deanso. Deanso was robbing everybody while he was in charge of traffic in Abaco. If you want it fixed, give me enough money to pay numbers. That same number, these police may have been better police, but they had a gambling habit. If somebody is being murdered, Simon Benaby, Mo Bain, Deanso Cass going to put their number in. You on your own, boy. New York soon fall. That number has to come in. That is how they became so corrupt. Especially that little monkey named Ellis. They had a gambling problem, still have it. Then you have Sergeant Russell down there. That's still there. I was in the investigation. I know the details of that one. He's the prosecutor in Abaco to date. 3 months after he stole or asked for $10,000 from the Minister of Foreign Affairs, Darren Henfield. Darren Henfield names keep coming up. I can tell you more about that. What was said when Darren's nephew reported to Darren. Darren was a prosecutor before becoming a member of parliament in the Attorney General office. Darren advised his nephew was, leave it alone. You're going to put your life in jeopardy by reporting crime. Like, wow. I could tell you so much more, but I ain't getting into the detail right now. I just call it the crooks. That's Sergeant Russell. I think his number is 2875. He black and ugly just like Ellis. Two of them look like a little baby chimp. Crooked. Why do they have to be so black and crooked? Crooked. And this is the guy that sending people to jail in Abaco. This is the prosecutor that prosecuting people to go to jail. This investigation have already been completed. Put on Paul roll desk, but it's not priority. When you are contaminating the court, the boy is a cockroach, he's contaminated the magistrate court in Mashaba and still contaminated it 3 months in. When is Sergeant Russell gonna be locked up and prosecuted? I gotta stay on him. Oh yeah, I gotta stay on him. Then you got Leary, a murderer, an assassin that shot CJ like a dog on the ground. I don't give a hell what CJ life was. He didn't deserve to get shot 13 times on the ground. Everybody that was in that jury box from Abaco, y'all are useless and weightless. The video evidence, when the magistrate played the video, God dang it. If anybody would have seen the video of Leary, bam, 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 13 times on a man on the ground that had no gun. No gun. The evidence showed he had no gun. The police friends in Abaco say he had a gun, was shooting at the police. Never happened. The video was right there. Witnesses was right there. One key witness was standing on the side of CJ, his friend from Sandy Point. I ain't call his name. He said he was afraid because he never see a policeman shoot at somebody with intent to kill. They refused to take the statement of the eyewitness. All this was brought up in the magistrate court while I was there. Yet Leary couldn't stop being a criminal. See, Leary got promoted in 2 weeks from sergeant to inspector in Abaco. You had one police chief down there with like them little pretty boys. I wonder why all them pretty boys should have come from Grand Bahama Emmerich Seymour. Emmerich Seymour used to send them little pretty boys to Abaco to get promoted the next week. Wonder why. But anyway, Lee went to Grand Bahama and assaulted, not Grand Bahama, Exuma, and assaulted two young ladies. They obviously have somebody that has higher pull than Leary in the police force. That's how it went so fast to the court. And he's still there like a little girl, crying, trying to get back on the police force as a corrupt cop. Spend all your little money, get your little lawyer. At the end of the day, you're still a corrupt cop. He locks me up all the time. You ask him why you lock Kai up. I ain't got to tell Kai why I lock him up. What you mean you ain't got to tell me why you lock me up? Why you lock me up? They lock me up and then put me in the cell. Then they go and play their numbers and decide how long they're going to keep Kai locked up and what the charge is going to be. But they never tell me why they locked me up because they ain't had nothing on me. It was just to silence me. And this has been going on for 20 years. Corruption at the highest level. That is why the Tribune reporter said that the police force is the most corrupt entity in the Bahamas. Of all the government agency in the Bahamas, the police force. So Paul Roll, don't feel too happy to be the police chief. You have accepted the most corrupt police force in the Caribbean and one of the most corrupt force in the history of the Bahamas. You got a chance to do something about it, Paul Roll, but not by promoting Ellis. You just promoted a cockroach to sergeant, a real police cockroach. There's no difference between a cockroach and Ellis. And that's what y'all promoted this week in the Bahamas. Still corrupt. Bad apple in the barrels of good police. Everybody gonna end up being corrupt and go right down there and get a job with Simon Bennaby and Mo Johnson as the most corrupt cop in the history of the Bahamas and indeed Abaco. I'm on corrupt cops, but I got plenty footage on corrupt cops. I am not defaming anybody's character. I've lived it. I've seen it. I got the data. I got the information. It's not called hearsay. It's called see-say, live-say, no-say. Kai K is on WCAY while corrupt cops are being promoted under Paul Roll in the Commonwealth of the Bahamas. 1 month after he's being promoted, more corrupt cops have been promoted for the first time in the history of this country. Paul, you got some work to do. Boy, you got plenty work to do. Kai Case.